Took a week off. Hope everyone enjoyed the turkey and the break. But we are back. Sit your podcast down. Hope you guys had a good week. Reek McFly. Reek is here. G is here. McFly is here. So fellas, lots of turkey, lots of hanging out, lots of football. Or do we still watch football? I don't know. Within the black community, if you still is that still a big thing?
Football. I watched a little football. I ended up at a comedy show where Dave Chappelle surprisingly dropped in.
So love that. I like that. Dave Chappelle.
That was a fantastic night.
Put the phones in the bag though.
Put the phones in the bag.
Put the phones in the bag.
That's how I knew it was him. That's how I knew he was there.
Yep, that's what he do. He like, all right, with the phone up. I'm like, what is this shit? All right.
Whatever. I was like, I don't be doing this.
No one else does that. No one else cares, right? He does.
Nobody else does it.
Oh man. So while we were gone, let's get to this. So these trials. We won one, we lost one. We're 50-50, I guess. Obviously talking about the Rittenhouse trial and then the trial of the killers of Ahmaud Arbery. Quick takes. What did you guys like, not like? I have a surprising take on one of them, but we'll let you guys get their first crack at this.
Well, obviously we like the Ahmaud verdict. Got some justice on that. But the other one, it just felt like we're going to let him get off so it can be okay to shoot protesters. Like, that's the message I got from that. Like, it's just like they went hard. They eliminated the whole, illegal firearm thing. Just threw out the case. So it's like, once you throw that away, then like, what you got? So,
it was very fortunate because what I think what it said was by doing that, it made it so that they couldn't introduce lesser charges. And that's why it was important. So they couldn't consider a lesser verdict because they threw that out.
So, that's what that said to me. Like, hey, if you don't protest, if somebody shoots you, it's all right.
Yeah, I thought, and I spoke about this with I think Fly. It wasn't surprising. It immediately seemed like a poorly planned prosecution, just based on the snippets we got. So without even like watching it in its entirety, you could tell the immediate angle they were going for, and it's like, well, that's not going to work at all. Like, there's no way that was ever going to work. Just because of reasonable doubt and knowing how our justice system works. I can't say I was surprised because I feel like they pretty much threw an alley for the defense to just like slam dunk approach to needle their way out of it.
I agree, actually. When it comes to the Rittenhouse trial, I think you made a good point, G. Again, not a lawyer, not a paralegal. I don't research none of that.
But don't act like you don't got creds though.
Fair enough. I know enough, and I'll say that prosecution sucked. He was terrible.
But you know what? I have a theory on that because most times when you think about prosecutors, they normally not prosecuting their own. So it's hard for them to actually prosecute and make them look like, make other white guys look like the bad guy. Well, like it's so it's like same thing with the Trayvon Martin. Like, the prosecutors were terrible because they don't know how to defend us. They're so used to going after us.
You know what? I'll give you that because there's definitely a level, even with how the judge was buddy with Rittenhouse. I don't care if the judge was straight up like, I like MAGA and I want him to get off. That's fine. You can't show that. You can't show a lack of impartiality in front of the jury on a highly nationally televised case. You can't. But the prosecution should see that and think, oh, we had an uphill battle. I need to make my case stronger. I'm not gonna have this 17-year-old kid make it for me. And he tried to have him make it for him. And that kid was well coached and he couldn't break him. That's the prosecution's fault. I think I would say this, this is I think the part that I don't think people would like to accept. Was he guilty of what they said? Did he go there with the intent to shoot and kill somebody? If he goes from with a gun loaded anywhere, it does not mean he meant to shoot somebody. From what they said, from how it was explained, other guys were the aggressors, and he shot until they were quote unquote no longer a threat to him. That's the definition of what you're taught to do with a gun. That's what they teach you to do. So I think the thing is, if he was black, you're not getting that credibility. You're not getting that.
Absolutely not. Because just logically, if I don't have a gun, why would I attack somebody with a gun?
Yeah. I would just say, just in general, you can't. If it was exact opposite, black guy from Chicago drove across state lines to a MAGA rally and ended up shooting a protester. I don't care what the circumstance was. That dude guilty is going to be found. I think that's how we feel. I think the thing to me is it shouldn't necessarily be because that black kid who's 17 did that will be guilty. That this dude Rittenhouse should be guilty. This kid should be guilty. It's more so that if it's really self-defense, neither should be guilty. And I think that's where we're like, all right, well, if this was one of ours, it wouldn't have happened like that. But I mean, I think the prosecution was a problem. Realistically, I think they just dropped the ball in the case. Because even if they did something too much and they got the case thrown out, it doesn't mean, like I said, a mistrial is not exoneration, right? If the trial gets thrown out because you do something wrong, you just retry. That's literally how this works. So I feel like if the prosecution really wanted to get him, he could either, number one, try to get a plea deal, get something, because you can't let him go free, which he did, or listen, we're going to dismiss for now with the ability to bring charges later when we have more information, more whatever, right? Make your case stronger and then go after him. So I think there was pressure at the top to get it done quickly. I think they rushed, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they picked a shitty prosecution. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked the worst they had there, the one that's getting reprimanded by the judge on TV. Everybody to see, he a bad, and everybody's this prosecutorial misconduct. Is it really? No, it didn't seem like it to me.
Right? Didn't they had a lot of input. The defense had a lot of input on a lot where I feel like the prosecution should have fought harder for it too.
Yeah,
like all the selections.
Yeah, but that just goes to show, like my theory before, like they just don't know how to go after white men. Like it's one of ours. I can't go after him. Because if he was black, they'd have put out all the stops.
I do think it's easier. It feels like it's easier to, because of how this country's set up, it's easier to paint black men as the aggressor, the criminal, the mongrel. It's easier. It's easier because everywhere you look, the darker you are, the more dangerous you are, the more unstable you are, the less educated you are, the more deserving of a bad thing that happened to you are, right? It's always easy to do that. It's hard. It's very hard to make the young white kid, the young white woman or young white man look like a monster. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And then he fake cries on the stand, and it's just this kid here. No, he didn't want to kill anybody. He just happened to do it twice, and it's
literally trying to convince me that he was scared, fearful of life going after him, even though he had an AK. Like, if somebody got an AK and I don't have anything, like my knife game ain't that good. I'm not Steven Seagal, so it's like I'm not doing that. And I listen to Knife Talk like every day, so it ain't like I'm not. I listen to Knife Talk. Like I'm not. It's my skills ain't that good. Like, you know what? He got an AK. Let me go after him.
I definitely
think I couldn't buy it.
They didn't do a good enough job to show that he was the aggressor. He was brandishing it in a way to threaten somebody. He was the initiator. They didn't. So, again, I'll leave it at, prosecution was trash. I'll tell you right now, though, I think I was okay. I was mad at first, really mad at first. And then I looked at it and I'm just like, case has to be better, right? I would tell you one thing right now, though. I would not have been able to get over Ahmaud Arbery going the other way. That to me was the one that was much more egregious. To where it's like, you can't explain to me why this shit, why these dudes ain't going to jail. If you want to show me that, hey, we really ain't worth a damn at all in this country, let all three of them get off with
what
nothing.
was the I didn't necessarily watch that one. I don't know if that one was actually as publicized.
Well, so
I didn't
the
feel
only
like
thing
it
that was
was.
really heavily publicized on that one was the defense. And this is why I'm saying, like, we have to start understanding that the undertones of how people speak to things matters.
Right.
The defense attorney asking why we keep bringing in these black preachers into the courtroom, like it's gonna bring unnecessary attention or something, like they can't be there to support the family. I'm just like, why does that fucking dude? Try defend your client. This ain't gonna be the way. You're just showing people you have a problem with. First off, the place that I would think you wouldn't care is men of God. As much as of a charlatan you think them guys may be, they are pastors. They're men of God. You're mad that they're there to support the family. They always go to these types of situations and support black folks where they feel that an injustice has occurred. So why are you mad trying to get them kicked out the courtroom? And even the judge was like, I don't see the point in kicking them out in the courtroom. Like, what are y'all talking about?
Right. If they were smart, like, he should welcome like Crump in there, because every time he's around, we lose. So,
Crump is look at the right. That man may be losing on a regular basis. But I'm like, I just feel like you could have spent more time defending your clients. So that was the thing that I saw from there. But like, I don't think there was much they could say. Like, y'all ganged up and killed the man for no good reason. Like, you had
it's like literally no. There's nothing to justify.
There was nothing. There was nothing that you could say to like, yo, he attracted all three of y'all. Like, he just big and bad like that. No, you can't make that up. So, that was a bit quicker. It felt like, and I mean, I'm happy because I think after the Rittenhouse verdict, I don't think Black America could have taken that one. I know I couldn't. I couldn't have handled that one. So that was, again, I never want to be happy that someone's going to jail for probably the rest of their life. Good or bad. That's just I'm not happy about it. I think the family needed justice, deserved justice. And I think Black people as a whole deserve justice because I felt like they didn't get that in the last trial.
No, I'm good with them going to jail for the rest of their life. I would say I'm cool with a real rehabilitation process. I would be down for that. Yeah, no, I'm not. They're not getting no. Yeah, they did crazy, and just to get the walk away, just to get to jail, you're lucky it's only jail. Like,
it's funny. I always think about people that have what seem to be racially motivated crimes. I always think, man, you better get down with it set early because you become the minority in jail, brother. Sorry for you, which is insane in itself to think that we're 12% of the population and we're half the jail. It doesn't make any sense in the world, but it is what it is.
The streets got to touch them, man. That's just go to jail or the streets got to touch you.
That's crazy. But yeah, so that was, again, G's happy. He said whatever.
Good. I'm not happy, but I'm good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, man, yo, F them, but I'm like, but yes, justice was served. Like, I'll say that. Justice was actually served.
Makes sense.
It did make sense. So yeah, I mean,
even Kyle, based on what I heard, made sense. I didn't like it, but it made sense.
I think that's the thing. Like, we want to be like, no, that's nonsense, but like, really, is it though? Like, I know we don't like it, and we want anyone who we perceive, because that was the thing too. I think how politicized the issue became. Because even when he spoke, and granted, he may not really mean that. I don't have a problem with Black Lives Matter and protesting or whatever. I just whatever, and that may be all be lip service now. I think Republicans and the right jumping on the bandwagon saying, give him the Congressional Medal of Freedom. The fuck are you talking about? Like shit like that doesn't make any sense to me. Let's keep this shit going.
They view that type of behavior as like heroism. Like this is like
the radical left to me were just as crazy.
Again, you are correct. You are absolutely correct.
They were
wilding. I'm like, come on, guys. What are y'all talking about? He should get the death penalty. What do you? If anything, it was a struggle. Even if you think he should be guilty, you gonna kill him tomorrow? Like, come on. Like, and I think that's what we gotta be careful with that, because you feed into the opposite energy when you say shit like that.
Being in jail with a bunch of people like that he doesn't want to be in prison with is probably worse than actually killing them.
Yes, especially at the age he would be going in that.
Right.
Yes.
Waking up and fearing for your life every day.
You can't even sleep.